What's going on, guys? Um, got a video response to Chlohans1973. He's doing the top 10 running backs of all time. Now, the contest is not your favorites. It's more about career best running backs, I guess, basically. Had to be a little subjective because if you're going on career, you just go down the list, number 1 through 10, most rushing yards, most touchdowns. Um, but I had to adjust that a little bit because there's some backs I just think are better than others. So, um, love the contest. Always been a huge running back fan. Not even, some of you know my love for Adrian Peterson, runs very deep. Um, and he does make my list, but I'll explain that too. Um, but I'm saying a lot, aren't I? Anyway, I got a few honorable mentions. Like people like Edgerrin James. I couldn't put him on my list. It's crazy. If you go to ProFootballReference.com, they have not only running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, every stat. If anybody ever touched the football, they're in there. So you might be surprised at who's actually in the rushing list of all time. And Edgerrin James, I think he was number 11 all time rushing. So, but he didn't make my list. Fred Taylor, I didn't put him on, but you guys, totally underrated running back. He is top 15. I don't think anybody knows that, but top 15 running back of all time. Earl Campbell did not make my list. I'll explain why in a little bit. I know he's on a lot of people's, but not to take anything away from him. It's awesome, awesome running back. Gale Sayers just didn't play quite long enough. O.J. Simpson, really wanted to put him on the list, but I couldn't do it. So, anyway, I got some notes. I'm going to hop in here. Number 10, just to avoid being called a homer, I'm putting Adrian Peterson at 10. I'd like to put him higher, but I'm not going to do it. The reason I have Adrian Peterson ahead of Earl Campbell is because Adrian Peterson has played one less year than Earl Campbell did. And let me check my notes here. So Earl Campbell played 8 years. Adrian Peterson just finished his 7th. And Adrian Peterson has 700 more rush yards and a lot more touchdowns. So that's my reason behind it. Frankly, I want to put AP higher, but I'm not gonna, because here's the deal. If AP stays healthy, he'll be top 3 for sure. I don't know if he'll catch Emmett. That's probably not going to happen. But just a few things on Adrian Peterson. He's already number 14 all time in rushing touchdowns. He has 86 rushing. With receiving touchdowns added in, it's about 90 or 91. Let's see here. And if he averages 12 rushing touchdowns a year. Even if he gets 10, he'll be number 3 or number 4, somewhere in that range of all time. That puts him right up with Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, LT, those guys. So, and Chlohans, I know you don't want to hear this, but you said it would take AP many more years. As long as he stays healthy, all he needs is 3,500 more yards to catch him. LT played 11 years. So I don't know, 3,500 yards in 4 years. We'll see. It'll be fun to watch for all running backs fans. But anyway, moving on. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. Number 9, I got Eric Dickerson. Kind of like Tommy Golf said, the dude ran like a deer. Fun to watch. Although I guess I got to admit, I just kind of came on at the tail end of his career. So can't remember too much about him, but very familiar. I had some friends that were fans. They've got the highlight reels and all that stuff. So he's also the number 7 all-time leading rusher. Next up, I put Jerome Bettis in there. He had 13,662 yards over 13 seasons. That's number 6 for all time. So, dude, was an awesome running back, more like a fullback. So the fact he could do that was just pretty awesome. Number 7, I put Marshall Faulk in there. Marshall was more of an all-purpose back. That's why I kind of included him, even though he was number 10 all-time in rushing. Had to add him because, those receiving yards and receiving touchdowns, those all count. That's what makes a running back so unique and so important. So, number 6, I put Curtis Martin. Probably the most underrated, maybe the most underrated back of all time. Number 4 on the all-time rushing list. I wanted to move him up one higher, but I couldn't do it. Curtis Martin never had that crazy, outrageous season, but solid, steady, and that's kind of what you want. Number 5, I put LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. I put him ahead of Martin only because of the touchdowns. LT was a touchdown machine. I'll give him that. That's for sure. So that's kind of for that. Number 4, I don't even want this guy on the list, but I had to do it just to be objective. But I put Emmitt Smith on there. It's kind of funny for a guy that has 18,000 plus rushing yards. I don't know too many people that have number 1 on the running back list, unless they live in Texas or they're just stupid. No, just kidding. But I'll give it to him. He had some amazing teams to play on, so I'm not going to take it away from him. Longevity, he had that. He had the 15 years in the league, although I'll say the people coming up, if they played another year or two, would have. That's all they needed to beat his record. So, next up is Jim Brown. I'll tell you, for Jim Brown, he's number 9 on the all-time rushing list, which is impressive to me because back, I don't know if how many people realize, when he played, there was, 13 or 14 games in a season. He only played 8 or 9 years. I don't know, that, to me, that, I know the competition wasn't as stiff back then as it is now, but he was a man among boys. I'll just leave it at that. So, he was awesome. Number 2, I put Walter Payton. He's number 2, mainly because, so he's second on the all-time rushing list, but it took him 13 years, over 16,700 yards. Not taking anything away from Walter Payton. Sweetness, loved him. I was old enough to catch him at the very tail end of his career, and many people in my family are Bears fans, so I've seen every highlight reel there could be. I'll give him his due. And how could you not? It's Walter Payton. And number 1, of course, is Barry Sanders. The dude was awesome. Favorite back to ever watch. If he would have just played a little longer, and hats off to him. Life over concussions, I guess, but he was so good. 15,269 yards in 10 seasons. That's very impressive. Yeah, I wish he would have hung on longer just to beat Emmitt. Took Emmitt 5 more years to outrush him by less than 3,000 yards. Just saying. So, anyway, guys, that's my top 10. Hope you liked it. If not, you don't. So, take care, guys. Enjoy.